Oh, we are live.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to the first episode of MindSET. Since it's the first session, let's do our introductions.
Yeah.
I'm Virginia.
I'm Barbara.
And we're going to be talking through today's session. What is MindSET all about, Barbara?
Well, MindSET is an online interactive resource. Actually, before I say that, we forgot to introduce Darryl. We're going to talk more about Darryl in a minute. You can see him over there on the left. Hello, Darryl. Wave hello, Darryl. Thank you so much. Doesn't he look thrilled? He is actually thrilled to be with us. Okay. Anyway, what is MindSET? He'll come on and speak some more in a second. So MindSET is an online interactive resource brought to you by Body and Soul, a charity working to transform trauma and working with people of all ages who experience psychological distress. Now, MindSET is a direct way to give you the tools and knowledge to manage your mental health. Now, at a time when there's a lot of stuff coming at all of us, we're here to show you how you can better understand your emotions and feelings, and more importantly, be able to recognize and actually regulate them. So over the next 10 weeks, we'll be doing live demos of the tools that you can use right now, and a weekly MindSET workout. Right? And it's just fun. And then
Work it.
You got to work it because you got to embed those skills in your brain throughout the week, right?
Yeah. And yeah, that's right. And the tools of we're sharing originates from DBT therapy. So it allows you to recognize your emotions and learn how to regulate them.
What we're going to do today, as we are going to every week, is start with a mindfulness exercise. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some instructions around it. And the instruction is I want you to notice when you get distracted, right? Because when you do an exercise, you're going to get distracted. I want you to notice when you're distracted, and distracted is going to happen to all of you. But the skill for this is getting hold of your attention and moving it back to the task. And by doing that constantly, yeah, we're going to create new neurological pathways, especially if you're easily distractible. And not only are we going to do that, but we're also going to look out for what they call judgments or judgmental thinking. So judgmental thinkings are things where you are thinking about things being right, wrong, good, bad, fair, unfair. We're going to get you to notice whether you're judging, some of you may be judging me now. You may have judged Barbara and Virginia for all that high energy talking. We're going to try and practice. We're going to try and practice letting go of judging stuff, because judging stuff has a disastrous effect on ourselves. If we judge others, the chances are we judge ourselves harshly. If we judge situations, so it's a kind of a two-way street. So for the first exercise, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to give you an instruction. I want you to sit with your feet flat on the floor. Yeah, and we do this so that we can start to stay grounded. I want you to just rest your arms in your lap with your palms facing upwards. And just for the next couple of minutes, what I'm going to ask you to do is look around wherever you are. I want you to look around, and I want you just to notice all the things that are circles or shaped like a circle. And I want you to give your mind a freedom. You can look back at things you've looked before, but you're just going to keep looking for more and more circles. You can go back to old circles, yeah? And just look for circles constantly. And when you get distracted, just go back to it. So we're going to start and finish with the sound of this. So when you hear that, the bell is just a reminder to see if you can almost get hold of your attention and just bring it back. Yeah, what we're going to try to do is start to feel our attention. See if we can get hold of it and deliberately move it from one thing to another. And this is really about mind control. This is how we help to control our minds, by moving our attention around. So I suppose the questions that I have for people, and I'm going to ask Virginia and Barbara, is so I'm going to ask them 3 kinds of questions at the minute. Like, what did you notice during the exercise? Did you have judgments about it? Did you have judgments about yourself when you were doing it? Judgments about the amount of time, for example, and what distracted you?
So tool of the week is basically the skill that will ensure that you can become aware of your state of mind before you do something that you'll regret later, basically.
Yeah, and also, like, if you're American like me, tool of the week, you're going to be like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But if you're in this country, apparently I was told that tool means like idiot. So
you don't want to be a tool.
No. Yeah, this is not, idiot of the week skill. This is like people that want to do something about regulating their emotions skill. Yeah, that kind of tool. So yeah. Is that a good description, Darryl? Like, basically a skill that we could use to kind of stop ourselves before we do something we might regret?
Yeah, absolutely. So shall I just dive into it then?
Yes,
yep.
Please.
Yeah, okay. So basically, right, every human being has 3 different states of mind that they're in, yeah, at any given moment. And we move through these states of mind. Sometimes we move through them second to second. Sometimes we spend minutes in each different state of mind. And sometimes we spend days or years in them. I've known people that have been in an emotional state of mind almost their whole life. And I'm thinking of my mum in that. So what you have is what's called the emotion mind. You have the logic, reason mind, and you have the wise mind. Or that's the 3 ways that we will look at it. Some people look at it more as like a lizard brain, a robot brain, and a wizard brain, and do whatever works for you. But basically, what the emotion mind is the emotion. It's up there. The emotion mind is, it's almost like having someone driving us. The emotion mind is that when we are ruled by our emotions in the present moment, right? So whatever the emotion is, facts are not important at a time like this. And the emotion mind is, as well as happiness, which is great, is also things like disgust, impulsivity, anger, rumination, thinking about the same things again and again. And when we're in our emotion mind, there are certain things that happen to us. So, for example, we tend to lose sight of the long term. So our thinking tends to be only in the moment. And when we think only in the moment, this influences our behavior and causes all sorts of problems, especially when that experience is painful. So what you have in essence in emotion mind is a collision between the long term and the short term. And when the short term wins, yeah, we can do lots of things that we regret. This could be anything from drinking, eating too much, sending text messages to people that, telling them what we really think of them, stuff like that. And the problem with the emotion mind, yeah, is that it often causes consequences and shame to appear in our life. So not only is it about what we do, but there are lots of ways of sort of trying to find out how our emotions or when we're in emotion mind. So, for example, some people have lots of body sensations when they're in emotion mind. You know, they may notice that their face gets red, their heartbeat goes faster, their breathing changes, or they pace up and down. Some people squeeze their fists. Some people have this feeling like they're going to explode. So I want you to think about which ones you have. A very typical one would be that you get really hot. So maybe you feel hot in your face or your chest or something like this, yeah? And you'll feel it, your thoughts speeding up, louder, faster, something like that. And so this is what the emotion mind does. Yeah? The other state of mind is more what they call the logic mind or the robot mind. And this is when what's in control of us is pragmatics, but not just pragmatics. We're talking about things like facts, evidence. Yeah. So the logic mind is sequential, chronological thinking. Yeah. So if you're going to build a house, you would build a house in a logic mind. Yeah. Because if you didn't, you might start by building, you wouldn't build a house building the second floor first, would you? So there's a system that is involved in building a house. You make the foundation, then you put the grounding in, and off and on and on and on. Or even sort of getting dressed. If you got dressed this morning, the chances are after you've chosen what to wear, yeah, because choosing what to wear might be emotion mind. But after you've chosen what to wear, you get dressed in a systematic way. If you didn't, you might put your underwear on before your trousers, or if you were really totally in emotion mind, you might be so happy you might not bother with clothes at all. So the emotion mind is what people are after. When you say, oh, if only I could think straight, yeah, that's what people are doing. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're trying to find reason or logic. So if you're doing maths questions, so if emotion mind is hot, logic mind is freezing cold. It's like adding ice cubes to it. So what about you, Barbara and Virginia? Do you recognize these states of mind?
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel them in bodily sensations. So I can feel my palms sweating and my face getting all red. And then I will also notice that my brain is like really hot as well. So that's when I'll know I'm in emotion mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's the same. It's not the same order, but my heart will speed up first, and then my face will get hot, and then the space between my eyebrows or whatever will get hot, and those are all. And then I'll get really distracted. Like I won't be able to think straight. Someone will be talking to me and I won't. Yeah. I just won't get what they're saying. My mind is just gone.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Great one, Barbara. Because the concentration is very much affected by these states of mind. So look, I'm going to tell you some more about this, and then I'm going to show you some ways of noticing these states of mind and coming in and out of them as you need to. So as you can see down the middle of this, what we have is something called or what we call the wise mind. And look, depending on your perspective or how you want to think of it, right, you can think of wisdom as the universe providing. You can think of it as the left side of the brain or the right side of the brain. Whatever floats your boat is up to you. But what the age-old understanding of wisdom is that actually what wisdom is a combination of emotion and logic, or emotion and reason. And when you join these together, what you tend to get, rather than the heat of emotion mind or the ice cube of logic mind, is you get a more sort of tepid feeling. And when we make decisions in our wise mind, we tend to make decisions that stand the test of time. Yeah, emotion mind decisions tend to not stand the test of time so well. So Barbara, do you have a wise mind, do you think?
Well, I know I do because you say that everybody does, and I believe you. So no, I'm joking. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Well, let me check that with you then. So,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
so do you have children?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you love your children?
Yeah. Oh, and they survived. So yeah, I have wise mind.
Yeah. And do you want to keep them around?
Well, yeah.
So right. So the emotion is love, and the fact that you want to keep them around. That I imagine that you want to keep them around based on the years and years of interactions with them that's created the love, right?
Yeah. I mean, I want to keep them around, but not in my house all their lives because they wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah, you definitely want to do that, not want to do that. But so often, people come to see me and they say, well, I don't feel like I have any wisdom. And the thing about wisdom is when wisdom doesn't descend on you. Yeah, you're not going to suddenly wake up wise. What wisdom is about practice. It's about understanding these different states of mind and practicing, checking out whether there is both emotion and logic involved in your decision making. Yeah. So I often say to people, well, what made you come to see me? Yeah, when they say they don't have wisdom, and they'll say, well, I was miserable. So misery is the emotion. And then I'll say, well, why did you choose me, or why did you choose this particular type of therapy? And what they'll say is, well, you know what? I looked at the evidence base. I looked at the evidence base for DBT, and I saw hundreds of thousands of people around the world using these ideas, and all the research showing lots of high levels of recovery. And I'm like, well, you see, that's your wise mind. And when you feel better at the end of it, it's going to have been your wisdom that guides you. So there's that way of looking at it. Some people call it a gut instinct. And when they talk about gut instinct, what they're really talking about is that sometimes when we make wise mind decisions, we can feel it in our stomach. We can feel a settled effect. So a lack of the body sensations, not feeling like a piece of meat, which might be more the logic mind, but they feel settled in what they've done. So some of you may have little or no practice of wisdom, and we're going to give you some exercises to practice. But anyway, before we do that, I just want to give you a little bit of a guide around the emotion mind. So there's lots of ways of checking. There's lots of ways of checking in with yourself if you're in emotion mind. Yeah. So one of them is if you're overwhelmed with this heat and your body is ticking and you're pacing. Another one is your thoughts and the speed of your thoughts. But other ones is that. But for those of you that are more thought based, what you could do is you could ask yourself some questions. And so some of the questions might be something like, before I send that text to my boss or family member telling them what I think with them, would I still want to do this in 24 or 48 hours time? Or before I drink that bottle of vodka? So there's one, would I want to do this in 48 hours time? The second one would be, if the context was the same, but this was my best friend, would I advise them to go ahead with this action? Yeah. So if I was gonna, I don't know, punch myself in the face, or if I was going to drink, I don't know, if I was a pilot and I was going to drink 2 bottles of whiskey before I jumped in a plane, I might ask myself, what would I advise someone that I care about to do in this situation? And the third way is that if you're just suspicious that you might be in emotion mind, then you probably are. Yeah, you can almost take that as a given. Yeah, because like I said before, the wise mind has a way of making us feel more settled. So given you know what wise mind is now, Virginia, have you Have you noticed any wise mind?
I have noticed wise mind. I was doing pros and cons, even though we're not talking about that skill yet. But basically, I was struggling with my long-term goal, and I was very emotional, and that's why I've decided that I have to take myself out of that situation. So I went for a run. I splashed cold water on my face to calm myself down, and then I sat down nice and calm, and I wrote down the pros and cons of making that decision.
Great.
And,
Yeah.
and that's wise mind for me.
Yeah. Look, it has to. It starts somewhere, and that's great. And the other thing that I would want to explain to people about the states of mind, or just noticing them, right, is that just by noticing in them, what it does is it increases your ability to detach yourself from certain thoughts, images, memories, and stuff like that. And that's usually quite useful for people. You know? So if you think, oh, I'm in emotion mind and I might not feel like this tomorrow, it allows you to sort of zoom out of a situation and see it from a different perspective. So one of the things that I would want people to do as they go through the week, right, is I just want them to just keep asking themselves, what state of mind am I in now? Yeah, just a few times, just what state of mind am I in now? What state of mind? And see if you can notice. Notice when you're in emotion mind, notice when you're in logic mind, and notice when you have that that combination of the two. So we're gonna get you to practice some of this stuff, and there's going to be practice exercises that people are gonna do. And one of the ways that you can do this, yeah, or find wisdom, is some people can do it through imagery, and some people can do it through breathing. So if you notice, for example, that when you're in emotion mind, your breathing becomes dysregulated, what you can do is breathe in certain patterns, yeah. And as you breathe in these patterns, what you'll notice is your heart rate will change, the heat will go down, and then you'll ask yourself questions. And people always say to me, nah, that's not going to work. I'm not going to do this. But you can see this. You can see this in brain scans. And for all of the sort of skeptics out there, right? Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for any of this, right? Because who am I to tell you? Who am I to tell you what to do? Either look at the research on it, or try it yourself, and try it often enough. Just, I don't know, between now and next week, and see what happens. Because if you then experience it, or you ask yourself a question and you get the wise mind answer to it, then you're going to be much more invested in going for it, doing it again, doing other skills next week. So you don't need to believe Virginia or Barbara or me. You need to do it. You need to do it for yourself and see. And I can tell you, I've been doing this. I know I don't look it, but I've been doing this for a long time. So I know that this works for people.